Kia ora and welcome along to this presentation on the Bachelor of Business. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about what the Bachelor of Business is all about, try to convince you that studying with us through the Bachelor of Business would be a good thing to do. Just before I do that, I'm Sam Richardson. I'm a senior lecturer in the School of Economics and Finance, and I'm one of the co-directors for the Bachelor of Business program. I'm based on the Manawatu campus. So whenever you come down to sunny Palmerston North, you'll know where to find me. We think about the Bachelor of Business. Bachelor of Business is, in my view, and pretty much anyone who takes it, it's an exciting and it's a progressive program. And what I want to do is to mention to you a few sort of features of our program. So the Bachelor of Business degree program itself is something that is completed over 3 years. So it's offered of full-time study. It's offered internally on both the Albany and Manawatu campuses, so up in Auckland and down in Palmerston North. And it's also offered by distance as well. And pretty much any course that you can take within the Bachelor of Business is offered in each of these 3 locations. Now, the way that the Bachelor of Business program is set up is that we have what we call a core, which involves 8 courses where you develop important foundational knowledge. And that is the 8 courses are split into 2 into first year and second year courses. So in your first year, you will do 6 100 level or first year courses in accounting, communication, economics, finance, management and marketing. And in your second year, you will take 2 further core courses, one in business law and the other in leadership and teamwork. Now that's where it starts. Now's where it starts to get interesting, because not only do you start off with the core and continue with the core, but what the Bachelor of Business allows you to do is it allows you to choose from any number of potential major areas. So you can choose from up to 11 majors. People typically choose 1 or maybe 2, but there's a very wide selection to choose from. So I've got on screen here, you've got accountancy, economics, finance, financial planning and advice, human resource and employment relations, human resource management, and employment relations, international business, management, marketing, organizational technology management, property, and strategic communication. At the moment, they are our 11 majors. Now, to make your choice even more unique to you, we also offer 15 minors. So, a typical program might very well be that somebody chooses, say, one major and would choose to complement that with minors. In the Bachelor of Business, we have 15 of those minors, the majors that I just talked about, plus we have 4 minor-only subjects. These are business analytics, business law, entrepreneurship and innovation, and Māori business. So as you can imagine, with that selection, there's lots of ways that you could potentially go. Remember that a degree is 360 credits. So you have 120 of those credits with the core courses I mentioned before, plus with your major and minors. There's also scope for electives within the program as well. So there's lots and lots of choice, which makes it a progressive and, as I say, it's an exciting program to take. Now, what will you come out of your Bachelor of Business with? Well, we argue not only do you come out of it with the core knowledge in terms of the business fundamentals, but you're also going to be developing your skills. And our graduates tend to be, and we focus on developing your independent learning. So not only do you learn alongside your peers and alongside your lecturers and your courses, but also you are given freedom to learn independently. We encourage innovation and creativity. So you become an innovative thinker. You are not only are you a good thinker, but you're also somebody who can communicate ideas really well. So we argue that you're going to be effective communicators as well. You'll also recognise that in modern business, it's impossible to work outside of a team, pretty much. So you'll be exposed to teamwork and leadership, so that irrespective of where you might land in whatever job you might come across in the future, you'll be equipped to lead or work within teams. And we also believe that, as in most universities, and certainly is the case within the Massey Business School and the Bachelor of Business, that is a multicultural and an international business environment. So you're going to be effective, you're going to be developing your skills, you're going to be somebody who will thrive in this environment. A few more selling points. The most recent graduate destination survey that was done gives us information within the Massey Business School on what our graduates are doing and where they're going. Approximately just over 3/4 of our Bachelor of Business graduates are working 30+ hours a week, either in New Zealand or internationally within 6 months of graduation. 85% in total of our graduates are actually working in areas of their choice. So this is pretty compelling reason to study the Bachelor of Business. That graph that you couldn't see before is now a little bit bigger, and this gives you an idea of where our graduates within the Bachelor of Business have gone. Just under a third of them are in the financial and insurance services. We've got decent chunks within the professional, scientific and technical services, plus administrative and support services. We have 10% of our graduates in both public administration, government and retail trade, and smaller proportions in education and training, retail hiring and real estate services, some in information media and telecommunication, and the remainder in transport, postal and warehousing. A huge variety of places that people can go, and that's just a snapshot really of where business can take you. One of the big selling points that we have within our Bachelor of Business at Massey is the opportunity for people to undertake internship courses. So these are typically offered in the third year, but they are also not just a really cool opportunity to work within your degree, but also to have that work and that study that you're doing as part of the internship course counted as part of your degree. So we do have a focus within the Bachelor of Business on developing work-ready learners, skills plus the ability to basically step into work as soon as you've graduated. Another reason why we think Massey's a great place to study and the Bachelor of Business is a great place, a great program to do it with, is that we do have a very active community, vibrant campus and distance communities. We recognise that it's not just about coming to campus, although that's a big part of the experience, but also if you're studying by distance, you're also included in the things that we do. We have student experience officers that are dedicated to specific campuses and also to distance learners. On campuses, we have dedicated spaces for learning. So on the Albany campus, we have within the Massey Business School the trading room. On Manawatu, we have the enterprise studio and we have the investment room. We also have our traditional start of semester activities, our orientation. In Massey Business School, we have our Ignite orientation. So if you're brand new to Massey, it's the first thing you'll do is to come along to our Ignite sessions. Plus, we also have other events as well. This space, this connection between us and the Massey Business School and our students is only growing. It's only going to get bigger. So it's a really important part of what we do. Another, and I have a few of these selling points, but another one is the fact that you're dealing with an institution in Massey that is internationally accredited. So we have AACSB accreditation. We also have going for another accreditation at the moment within our World University Rankings. So the 2020 QS World University Rankings, Massey Business School is ranked inside the top 300 universities worldwide. 300 might seem a lot, but in the grand context of things, it's actually not very many at all. Top 300 in business and management studies, top 250 for economics and econometrics, top 200 for accounting and finance, and top 150 for communication and media studies. You're talking about a leading university, a leading college, and a leading program. As a result of having these really good rankings, what that enables us to do is to offer contemporary research lead courses taught by some of New Zealand's best teachers and New Zealand's top researchers. Okay, and we're very proud of the programs that we offer, the majors that we offer, Bachelor of Business. We're very proud of the courses that we teach. Not only that, but we also have a proven track record of the student success. The Bachelor of Business is the university's biggest program and has been for a long time, and there's a reason for that. Basically, we don't just offer what we consider to be the best courses, but we also believe in your success. Okay, we resource, we provide support where it's needed, and we'll do whatever we can to help you succeed. Your success ultimately matters a lot to us. Hopefully, this has given you something to think about, and it's something that you're really interested in finding out more. So to find out more, what I suggest you do is go to the Massey website and find the Bachelor of Business page. The easy way to do it, okay, is to click on, so go to Massey homepage, click on Study, the top left-hand corner, the menu that comes up, go to Find a Program and search for Bachelor of Business. You'll find everything you need to know about the program structure in there. If there's anything you don't know, then by all means, certainly ask people within these open days, but also take a look on the website. There's heaps of information there. Thanks very much for your time. I really do hope we see you in the Bachelor of Business in the not too distant future.
Hello everyone, my name is Hedy and I am a senior lecturer in the School of Accountancy at Auckland campus. This is my 5th year at Massey University and I really enjoy the life here. So I am a chartered accountant and I teach management accounting courses at both undergraduate and postgraduate level, and I supervise master and doctoral students. I also serve as a board member on the board of trustees of a charitable trust that provides social housing services. So in this session, I will talk about Bachelor of Accountancy, a changing accounting profession in the world of change and opportunity. This session will begin with a discussion about the accountancy career, and I will talk about why Massey University is a great choice to study accountancy degree. Then I will highlight the key features of Bachelor of Accountancy program and finish the session with a talk about the vibrant campus life. So, why accountancy? Accounting plays a critical role in shaping the society of the future. Here at university, doing an accounting degree not only help you gain all the technical knowledge that are essential for your future career, but also develop leadership skills and communication skills, and eventually prepare you for a professional career which enables you to work in any part of the world. In terms of the career prospects, accountancy is one of the most popular areas of study within Massey Business School. A degree in accountancy offers graduates a number of employment opportunities leading to interesting and satisfying careers. Accountants work in many different areas, including chartered accounting firms, such as in audit, tax, business services, and consulting service lines. Corporates, such as financial accounting, management accounting, business analysts, and financial management, and finance and banking sector, as well as the public sector. For example, an accounting career often begins in a chartered accountancy firm. After completing a professional qualification and gaining experience, it is common for accountants to move to accounting positions in corporates and from there go into management. The study of accountancy prepares you primarily for careers in accounting roles and in business. However, there are lots of opportunities to work in education, the corporates or public sector, or as a consultant providing business or tax advisory services. An accounting major can also lead to a career within general management. So there are more employment and career opportunities in accounting than in most other areas of business study. So these are the highly demanded positions in Australia and New Zealand. There is always a shortage of qualified professional accountants all over the world. Very often, people have the perceptions that completing a Bachelor of Accountancy degree will only take you to the professional accountant's role. However, we have graduates who work as business analysts or finance analysts as well. So these are actually accounting roles with emphasis on data analytics skills. As you can see from the slides, the starting salary for a graduate role in the public accounting service firm is between $40,250 New Zealand dollars and $48,750 New Zealand dollars. Please refer to the first two columns from the left in the table, which indicate the 25th percentile and the 50th percentile of the salary estimates. The prospect of senior accountant is also very promising in tax services, audit, assurance, corporate accounting, and business analyst roles. Figures are shown in the slides and the next. Accounting career can take you to the leadership role, while many others don't. You can also set up your own accounting firm and manage your own clients. So far, I've taken you through a few key points. Accounting is progressing and becoming more integrated with the technological innovations and workplace automation. It has a bright future with promising pay and a lot of flexibility. Now, let's talk about why choose Massey University. First, a flexible learning experience. We offer Bachelor of Accountancy BAc program via Manawatu campus, Auckland campus, as well as online learning. Thus, it provides students with great flexibility. Some are studying on campus, but choose to do online learning for 1 or 2 courses due to their family, sports, or work commitment. We have about 30 highly qualified staff members in the School of Accountancy, including some internationally respected researchers. And we are very well known for our personal and practical teaching approaches. Our graduates often appreciate the more personal teaching approaches that our staff offer. Massey also has a trading room, which is equipped with very expensive, world-class Bloomberg system for students to have a real-life experience in trading stocks and currencies. And at last, the internationally accredited programs. With many professional accreditations, the School of Accountancy is one of only 3 institutions in New Zealand and Australia awarded the prestigious WCSB International Accreditation. Only 10 other institutions outside the United States have achieved this distinction. Our recent graduates have been employed by PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, and Ernst & Young. These are known as the Big 4 international accounting and consulting firms. Our graduates have also found jobs with companies such as Fonterra, Toyota, New Zealand Post, and BNZ Bank, as well as Mid Central Health and Audit New Zealand in the public sector. We also have graduates like Varun Nair, who worked at Rocky Lab as finance analyst. He was the president of Accountancy Club, and he has been invited back on campus to give guest lectures in my management accounting classes for 2 years. His role, although called finance analyst, is actually a management accounting role in essence. Now, I will discuss the Bachelor of Accountancy BAc program. There are no special entry requirements for the BAc program beyond those that qualify you for study at the university. Therefore, students are not required to have prior accounting learning in their high school study. We will prepare students for the accounting specialization in the first year of university study. As to the difference between Bachelor of Accountancy BAc and the Bachelor of Business with accountancy major, here are advice from the past students. BAc, Bachelor of Accountancy, ensures you satisfy the academic requirements set by the professional bodies, including CANS, CP Australia, CIMA, and ACCA. If you intend to pursue the professional accountant career pathway, then BAc is your choice. This means once you complete BAc study, you meet all the academic requirements of a professional accountant. This is extremely important if you would like to work in the public accounting service firms. Employers do consider this as an entry requirement in the initial stage of the recruitment process. Many of the students started with the Bachelor of Business study with an accounting major, but later changed to BAc for this reason. Bachelor of Business with accountancy major gives you the options and the flexibilities, which enables you to have more options and flexibility, and you can choose double majors. Combinations such as accounting and finance, accounting and organizational technology management, accounting and management are all very popular. More importantly, the program is accredited by all of the internationally recognized significant accounting professional associations, such as Chartered Accountant Australia and New Zealand, the UK ACCA, Chartered Institute of Management Accounting, CIMA, and CPA Australia. Therefore, the program allows students to take advantage of international mobility of its qualification, provides students different career options after graduating. They can choose to work as a finance analyst, corporate accountant, or chartered accountant in any part of the world. At last, I would like to talk about the vibrant campus life at Massey University School of Accountancy. Massey University provides free financial advice to non-profit community groups through the Community Accounting Service in Auckland and Manawatu. Accountancy students work under the supervision of a chartered accountant to provide advice, training, and support services. There are also free regular clinics for treasurers and board members of small to medium-sized community groups. New Zealand has a very vibrant and fast-growing not-for-profit sector, and it is a very significant sector in terms of its contribution to economic growth and GDP. And there are a lot of job opportunities in the sector as well. Therefore, the Community Accounting Service sets students up for a much higher chance of getting their first job after graduating from the program. Moreover, students will enjoy the vibrant campus life as we have very active accountancy club and the investment club at Massey University. The accountancy club was founded in 2015, and I am the club mentor since then. It's been around for the 5th year, and we have constantly 200 plus students subscribe to membership. The club offers free accounting software training workshops, networking, social events with industry professionals, career workshops tailored to students' needs. Well, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your interest in Bachelor of Accountancy program. I look forward to seeing you at Massey University in the future.
Kia ora, and welcome to the presentation for the Bachelor of Communications overview. In this presentation, we'll talk about what is the Bachelor of Communication, where our graduates go, and if the BC is right for you. So the BC might be a good fit for you if you're a person who wants to connect with others and make a difference in your community, particularly if you like working, talking with, and interacting with others across your community. You might also like the BC if you enjoy playing with language or visual communications, or if you like memes, art, or visual presentations. The BC might also be a good fit for you if you're interested in persuasion, promoting, campaigning, or advertising. If you are fascinated by the media, whether that's consuming or producing it, you can learn about these different skills and different types of media in the BC. Or if you have a bent towards creativity, theatre, or performance, the BC can help you harness those skills to drive change. The BC also fits those who are the kinds of people who think around corners or who like gnawing away at a problem until it is solved. The BC helps students to gain skills that means that they can work in many different industries. And later on, we'll meet some of our graduates who have done just this. But finally, the BC fits people who want to be part of the future and have a meaningful contribution to the future of Aotearoa. So what is the BC? The BC is one of the few 3-year Bachelor of Communication programs in the world. It is jointly offered by the College of Humanities and Social Sciences and the Massey Business School. You can study on campus or by distance or a mix of both. But regardless of mode, in the first year, we will ground you in the breadth and richness of the field of communication. All students in the BC take the same 8 courses, so you'll also meet your peers who are on the same journey. In year 2, students can choose across their areas of specialization, from marketing to media studies. You can also choose minor subjects to complement your major field. In year 2, we start to equip you with the practical and theoretical tools to become communication experts. In the 3rd year, you hone your skills often by working on practical problems from your community. 3rd year students may also take up an internship, a community placement, or travel overseas to work on their BC in other institutions around the world. In your degree, you can also take advantage of projects in your community. We have multiple projects that mean that you can study in-country or overseas, with that study credited towards your Massey degree. We also offer advanced and postgraduate options in a range of communication fields, from the Masters of Management in Communication in journalism and in marketing, and the Master of Analytics. But when we say that we have practical and integrated study experiences, what do we mean? For example, our internship students have brought their communication study to a wide range of social issues. For example, we can see here in the large picture Elizabeth, who worked communications for Windle International, who were doing outreach work at a United Nations refugee settlement in Uganda. In the top there, we can see Sharona, who created events for Afale Pacifica right here on campus and helped connect Pacifica students with both their studies and with their wider Wellington community. And in the bottom here, Kaylee worked with the Sexual Violence Protection Network on plans to get information to teachers in schools, and she also got to work with her office colleague, Bertie the dog. Interns work in a wide range of organisations, doing a huge range of tasks. But what about after graduation? What do graduates do? The short answer to this question is they do anything they want. There is no aspect of communication, business, or society that isn't touched by communication methods. If you think about your own day, you can start to see this in all the different places that communication takes place, whether that be speech and written word, in emails and texts, with emoji and GIFs, in videos like this one, and movies on the big screen. For example, you can see on our website many different graduate stories, but across all of them, our graduates all talk about finding roles where they feel that they can make a positive change in our community, whether that be in government service, in business, in managing teams, or in developing new opportunities. Our graduates draw on what they learn both in and out of the classroom during their study to bring to bear in their future roles. And this includes their international placements and practical and hands-on learning. You can hear some of our graduates in their own words at our website. Our graduates often tell us that the mix of theory, skills, and practice sets them apart and sets them up for success when they find out what their place is in the world. But what else do our graduates have in common? Our graduates share some common attributes. Firstly, they are graduates of the top-ranked communication program in New Zealand in international rankings like the Shanghai rankings, and we are top 150 globally. Our staff are often also at the top of their fields, so by studying the BC at Massey, you will receive a cutting-edge, world-class communication education. Our international standing and globally recognised accreditation means that our graduates can travel the world to take advantage of local and international opportunities, confident their qualification and skills will be recognised. We are one of the longest running communication programs in New Zealand, and we've taught communications for over 40 years. So when we surveyed our graduates, we received feedback from graduates at all stages of their career. They told us that over 91% of them were employed in a wide range of careers in over 20 different industries. Only 2% of our graduates were out of work at that time. And in fact, our graduates told us that over 300 different job titles they've held over their careers, which gives you a hint at how far your degree can take you. Our graduates and their employers tell us repeatedly that Massey graduates stand out because they have a good balance of critical, theoretical, and practical training and a diverse knowledge base covering business and creative skills. That our graduates work on so many practical projects and case studies during their degree also means that our graduates enter the workforce with a portfolio of work that demonstrates their skill as communicators and as citizens. 93% of our graduates also told us that they felt that their skills learned in their degree directly related to their career or helped them to achieve where they are now. Our graduates praised the mix of practical and theoretical knowledge and the ways the program helped connect them and their study from their textbooks to what they do in industry. They also noted that the strategic ability and leadership skills that they developed in the BC helped them lead the way. Massey graduates don't just follow the pack, they lead change in the community. Many of our graduates credited what they learned in their study for their agility and adaptability to a constantly changing media and communication landscape. BC Massey grads especially noted the value of the up-to-date industry knowledge and connections, including connections with professional organisations and opportunities for future employment. The mix of creative and business also helped develop graduates' entrepreneurial skills and made them confident to pounce on new opportunities. Finally, they noted that contacts in industry meant they had more opportunities. And with over 1,000 graduates working in the field, past Massey graduates are now helping our new graduates find their feet in the fast-paced world of communication. So people who are interested in studying communication also want to know what the future prospects are for the field. There has never been a greater need for communication experts across the country. You may have seen earlier this year the important role that communication had in public health, for example, making sure that everybody was clear about what steps they needed to take to be safe. Our graduates were among the team working on those health messages. There are also growing roles for journalists and public relation professionals, for stakeholder engagement and internal communication, and dozens of other roles. Communication is a global field, and New Zealand communication graduates are always in demand. And of course, that business of business and creative means that many graduates go on to start their own companies and projects. Digital marketing and analytics are also growth fields, both domestically and internationally, as the media landscape changes and graduates who have both those creative and those critical and analytical chops are able to engage with this dynamic space. And those graduates are in really hot demand. But why do employers speak so highly of our graduates? What sets our graduates apart? The IBM Global CEO Survey prioritized transferable skills as the most important attribute a graduate could have. Students graduating in the next few years will have multiple different careers, not just jobs, and the BC helps to set you up for success wherever your path in life might take you. Some of the transferable skills that the BC can help you with include communication, to help you connect with people and people with ideas. We help you to develop your flexibility, to help you grow with change. We help you with your creativity, to lead change and to think disruptively about your environment. We help you with teamwork, to create an inclusive collegial environment, and your leadership skills to help you bring others along with you on your journey. We teach you about strategy to inform future use rather than learning about specific current events. And we help you with your ability to learn, adapt, and cope with uncertainty in changing times. These transferable skills keep communication graduates in hot demand. For example, between now and 2025, it is anticipated that there will be over 1,000 new roles for journalists and public relations experts. Demand for marketing experts, especially digital marketing experts, continues to grow even faster. Graduates who have skills in digital and new media communication or who are good at creative interpersonal communication are especially in demand. Many of our graduates go on to start their own businesses or work for themselves as consultants due to their strong professional reputations that start at Massey. You can study anything you like at high school. All backgrounds and skill levels are welcome. We will teach you everything you need to succeed in the Bachelor of Communication. So if you have any questions, please visit our website, www.massey.ac/BC, or come in and talk to us. Kia ora koutou.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anka Smith, and I'm here today to represent the School of Aviation at Massey University. Today, we're going to talk about the Bachelor of Aviation Air Transport Pilot. You'll see here on the pyramid at the bottom right-hand side, it's one of our 2 undergraduate programs, but you will see that you've got the ability to staircase later on to postgraduate study in the Master of Aviation or a PhD, a Doctor of Philosophy. The Bachelor of Aviation is a professional integrated degree. Now, what does this mean for you? So it's a 4-year degree compressed into 3 academic years. It integrates flight training with university studies. That means your practical training and your academic studies at Massey. Having a tertiary qualification enables flexibility and more opportunities for career advancement. You'll be training in Massey's technologically advanced aircraft and state-of-the-art simulators. You'll be training and learning in Massey's specially designed aviation centre that was opened late last year in October 2019. We have 2 intakes per year in January and July. And most importantly, you'll become an aviator with a difference. Now let's talk a little bit about the structure of this program. So the Bachelor of Aviation Air Transport Pilot degree consists of 480 credits or 32 courses, which again integrate academic study and flight training. Most of the courses in years 1 and 2 are compulsory. Students must pass the courses in each semester to progress to the next semester. You graduate with a degree and your pilot licenses and ratings. Now these are your private pilot's license, your commercial pilot's license, your multi-engine instrument rating, and 220 logged flight hours in your logbook. Once you're at that stage, you are 2/3 of the way through your degree and you are a fully fledged commercial pilot, but you have not finished your degree yet. To do that, you have 2 options in your 3rd year, the flight instructor course or the aviation business management option. Here is a graphic that will explain to you quite clearly the pathway from leaving school or wherever you've been beforehand into this program. So this explains clearly what you need to do in order to commence your program. And we start the next course, which is January 2021, on the 27th of January. And the selection board dates are here, so it's all quite clearly explained, but if you have any questions, we can cover those later on. The Bachelor of Aviation is what's called a selected entry program. So that means in addition to you meeting the university's academic entry requirements, either through high school graduation or adult entry or some other means, you have to do a selection board. You have to get into the program, in other words. So first of all, stage 1, you do an online ADAPT pre-test, and that takes 15 minutes and it's available for you to do it at home. And you need to get a score of either average, above average or good in order to progress to stage 2, which is the selection board. You need to allow 1 day for this process, and it involves a series of tasks which are listed here. I'd like to emphasize that the interview is really important, and the interviewers here will be really looking at your motivation and your understanding of the degree and what you have done as far as researching the industry before you come to us. And a series of pilot aptitude assessments, which is online, run by the same company who does your initial ADAPT test. And there's a list of these assessments here for you to have a look at. And successful candidates must also gain a New Zealand Civil Aviation Authority Class 1 medical certificate. Those candidates must also have a New Zealand Class 1 medical certificate before they start their program with us. Now, the tuition fees in the New Zealand Government student loan, please be aware that the fees quoted here are related to 2020, the academic year 2020. The fees for 2021 have not yet been released by the university, and all universities review their tuition and administration fees every year. So have a good look at this slide because there's a lot of important information in it, and especially look at how the New Zealand Government student loan applies to Bachelor of Aviation students in this program. So in essence, currently all the fees that you have for your tuition and your flying fees, your fuel, etc. are covered in your first year. Students who start in January will have their second year fees mostly covered, but there will be a shortfall. And then third year students have, if you do the flight instructor course, there's another shortfall, or the aviation business management option, no shortfall. The fees-free first-year scheme, as it currently stands, enables Bachelor of Aviation students who have no tertiary study behind them prior to coming to this program to apply for the maximum available under the scheme of $12,000. I don't know if this fees-free scheme will be available next year because we don't know what's going to happen after the elections, but this is the current status of how this works for BAD students. Right, I'm now going to hand you over to a couple of people who are a lot more interesting than me. Laura, who's one of our flight instructors, and Matt, who's one of our students. Over to you, Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura. I graduated the Bachelor of Aviation degree in 2016 before working as a flight instructor for Bassett Aviation College in Brisbane, Australia. I then returned to New Zealand to work for Massey and have since been flying students all around our beautiful country. Now Matt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. Hi, I'm Matthew Chu. I'm a member of the Massey 72 cohort. I started my degree in January 2019 and I plan to graduate in early 2022. Next year, I wish to be selected for the flight instructor program to complete my degree.
Today we're going for a flight lesson to sunny Nelson. Kira is going to be pilot flying and Matt is going to be pilot monitoring.
Hi, I'm Kira and I'm a Kiwi who grew up in Australia. I'm studying as a member of the Massey 70 cohort and I'm currently in my final year of the degree studying in the Massey University Flight Instructor course. Once I'm finished that, I'm hoping to follow in Laura's footsteps and apply for a position as an assistant flight instructor at Massey University. Today we're flying to Nelson and to do that we need to do a departure brief using our electronic flight bag. Here's the route we're going to take. So we're going to take off from Palmerston North on runway 07. We're going to track along the coast down to about Wellington, cross the Cook Strait, and we're going to fly into Nelson over the Marlborough Sounds.
Thanks, Kira. Now let's meet another flight instructor, Glenn Ross, and his student Alex, who are going to be in our DA42 simulator. Over to you guys.
Hey guys, my name's Alex and I'm from the Massey 72 cohort. I moved down from Auckland back in 2019 to study aviation here at Massey. It has always been a childhood dream of mine to become a pilot, and once I graduate here, I'd like to become a flight instructor and eventually move on to the airlines.
Hello everyone, my name is Glenn Ross. I'm one of the BCAT flight instructors here at Massey University School of Aviation. I'm here today with Alex, who's one of my students, and we are just about to commence a simulated flight in the DA42 full flight simulator that we have at Massey School of Aviation. And I'd like to invite you along to watch and see what we do here.
Hi there, welcome back. So during your time here at Massey, you'll first of all start flying the DA40 single engine aircraft for a considerable amount of your training. Towards the end of your training, however, you'll graduate onto the DA42, which is a multi-engine aircraft, and that's what we're doing today with Alex. This is going to be the first flight in the DA42 for him, and first of all, before we actually go flying in the proper aircraft, or the real aircraft, we conduct a sim session. And that's to give Alex familiarisation with the differences between the DA40 and the DA42 and how this aircraft handles in comparison to the DA40. So, you just sit back and buckle up and we will go for a lesson. Okay then Alex, so here we are inside the DA42 for the first time. So what I want to show you is obviously some of the things that you'll be familiar with from the DA40. You'll note that there are a lot of similarities. However, of course, one of the main things to look at here is the throttle quadrant for two engines. And now we have two engines on the outside instead of one in the middle.
Thanks, team. That was really interesting. Thank you for sharing your information with us. If you would like to know more, we have an annual aviation open day in Palmerston North in September. This year, it's on Saturday, the 12th of September from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It's will be held at the Massey University Aviation Centre in Palmerston North. You'll be able to take part in presentations, accommodation and aviation centre tours. You can book a trial flight. You must register so we know to expect you, and the registration details are here at the bottom of the slide. Finally, if you need to contact me to ask me more questions, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, here is my email address, my cell phone number. We have a very good and active Facebook page, and you can also look for more information on the Massey University Aviation website, and those details are here as well. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this a very informative presentation, and I really hope to see you either at an aviation open day one day or at our selection board. Good luck with your studies this year. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anka Smith, and I'm here to represent the Massey University School of Aviation today. Now we're going to talk about another undergraduate program in aviation that Massey offers called the Bachelor of Aviation Management. You will see here on the pyramid that not only is it an undergraduate degree, but it gives you opportunities to staircase into postgraduate programs. And that will be either the Master of Aviation and then possibly later on the Doctor of Philosophy or a PhD. The Bachelor of Aviation Management program is a business degree designed for the aviation industry. It's also what we call an open entry degree. So that means that at the minimum, you must get a high school graduation, and that means passing NCA Level 3, International Baccalaureate or Cambridge or equivalent. And that gives you academic entry to the university. However, if you're an international student, you also need to submit an academic IELTS score of 6.0, no band lower than 5.5. Now, lots of students ask me, what subjects should we be studying at school for a program like this? Well, because it's basically a business degree, I do recommend you do mathematics with statistics, And then if you enjoy subjects like business studies, economics, or psychology, look at those as options as well. The most that we ask you really is to develop your formal writing skills so you can construct an argument when you're doing your assignments here at Massey. And an assignment at Massey is a little bit like an academic essay when you're at high school. The program itself is made up of 24 courses, and these comprise of 10 compulsory aviation courses, 8 elective aviation courses, and another 6 elective courses that can be aviation or something else in the university that you would like to study. For example, security studies, business papers, psychology, information sciences. That's up to you. There are also optional extras, if you like, and these are things like the internship course, or you can actually apply to go overseas on an overseas Massey student exchange. So we talked a little bit before about the compulsory courses. What are they? I can hear you say. So you see there's quite a range here, and these are designed to introduce you to the breadth of the aviation industry. There's something like human factors, and human factors is really the psychology that applies to the aviation industry. And aviation is really all about people and logistics. There's the introduction to management in aviation. There's the environmental impacts of aviation, managing cultures in aviation, and contemporary issues in aviation security. So it's a broad introduction to the aviation industry. The internship option is one I really recommend you consider, and you should really be looking at doing this in your final year of the program, and it's possible to do this over the summer semester. It allows you to participate in a semester-long internship placement and research project. You have the opportunity to find your own place to intern, but we need to authorise that as being a suitable option for you. As an example, previous students have interned at NPI, Auckland International Airport, Field Air, Airbiz Auckland, Air New Zealand, Queenstown Airport, and Tasman Cargo. You spend one semester doing 2 different courses of 15 credits each. One is a research project, and you also have to maintain an internship daily log and review. Overseas exchanges are also something I highly recommend, and this adds a really interesting flavour to your degree. While you're overseas studying at the overseas university, you are gaining credit towards your Massey Bachelor of Aviation Management degree. It definitely adds value to your CV. You only pay Massey tuition fees while you're overseas, not international tuition fees at your new university. And Massey has travel scholarships available to you to help you fund your trip overseas. So I highly recommend this as an option for you to aim for in your last year. Success speaks for itself. So here is an idea of some of our graduates, what they are doing now, and you'll see that it's quite a wide range of jobs, and they're based in New Zealand and overseas. So have a good look at this, and this will give you an idea of the employment opportunities open to our Bachelor of Aviation Management students. Now I'd like to introduce you to a BAvMan graduate called Ben Parkinson, and Ben is working at Palmerston North Airport as an operations manager. He talks a little bit about why does he work in aviation, what has he done so far. So you'll see he graduated from the Bachelor of Aviation Management in 2013. He was awarded a Captain's Club Scholarship. It's now called the Future Leaders Scholarship, and that is still available to prospective students. He worked at Wellington International Airport when he graduated from 2014 to 2018, and then at Swissport, which is a fixed base operator, and now he's working at Palmerston North Airport as the operations manager. He talks about the career opportunities even within Palmerston North Airport, and these are in the operations team and the non-operations team. So you'll see there's rescue fire, there's terminal operations, wildlife management, and customer service, to name but a few. and the non-operational roles include finance, commercial, and marketing and communications. In the wider airport community, Ben talks about opportunities in the aviation ground handling and customer service roles with Air New Zealand, Origin Air. There's freight and logistics with New Zealand Post or Parcel Line Express, and then aircraft engineering and maintenance, for example, Field Air Engineering, who have an operations base here in Palmerston North as well. Ben said that you need a passion for aviation as a key skill, an aviation qualification or relevant experience, the ability to handle and enjoy high pressure environments. You need good situational awareness, a knowledge of the Civil Aviation requirements, and knowledge of the Health and Safety at Work Act. And these are all things that you can accumulate on your pathway to graduation. I'm now going to hand you over to John Murray, who is a lecturer in the Bachelor of Aviation Management program, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about his papers or courses and the aviation industry. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is John Murray and I'm one of the lecturers here at Massey School of Aviation, and welcome to this virtual online open day where hopefully you're getting a good understanding or appreciation of just what the School of Aviation has to offer you as a potential student. We have a range of different programs available, of course. We have really two main streams. One is the Air Transport Pilot program that I teach into, where I teach meteorology, and the other is the Aviation Management program, where I teach two core courses in airline management and basic aviation management concepts. For those of you thinking about studying aviation, of course, it is a valuable path to choose. For those of you who are currently working in the airline industry, we will hope that our qualifications will provide you with a strong sort of theoretical understanding or background that can use to build upon your experiences, or to take your practical experiences and perhaps use them and interpret them in a different way. For many individuals, of course, getting that degree with an aviation background is often a necessary step to promotion or career development, and that's always a good path to take. But sometimes too, it's just good to learn new things, but even around a field you've been working in for some time. For those of you who are looking for a career change, or perhaps looking for a brand new career because you're fresh out of school, aviation is a great pathway to choose. Now, we all know that what's happening with COVID-19 means things are a little bit different now, but the airline industry is still one that is full of a wide range of opportunities for everybody. It's an industry that's been growing steadily for decades. It's one of the few industries in the world that grows pretty much year in, year out. And once COVID has disappeared and gone, we've kind of gone back to normal. The industry will return to a normal vein and continue to grow. And it will do so because it's so fundamentally important to everything that we do, both in terms of travel, tourism, and the way that it links together the countries of the world and our economic systems. So the opportunities there are vast for you to travel and to have an international career, not just based in New Zealand, but based all around the world, because that's simply what aviation is. Aviation is a global industry with global career opportunities. In terms of what you'll get here in the school, you'll come across individuals like me. I've been here for 19 years now. This is my office. Hello to my office. I used to be a commercial pilot. I flew way back in the 90s for a small charter group, and most of our staff are former airline individuals or the career Air Force officers, and we all have a very strong background in aviation, and the depth of expertise and knowledge here is quite vast, and it gives you a range of sources to draw upon. That being said, the choice is up to you. It depends really, and my honest piece of advice for all potential students is go with what you are passionate about. If you're passionate and genuinely motivated to learn something or be part of a particular industry, then you're far more likely to succeed, regardless of your level of academic ability. It is that motivation and passion that keeps you going at university, where study is all about self-directed learning and sort of self-fulfillment. Once you get here, of course, please, my further advice is take every opportunity you're given, learn as many things as you can, and ask as many questions as you can, because the more you ask, the more you're going to pick up, the more you're going to learn. That being said, I hope you enjoy the rest of the online open day experience, and hopefully one day I will see you face to face in the classroom. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John. That was most interesting. You can find out more at our annual Aviation Open Day. This year, that's on Saturday, the 12th of September, from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It's held here at our Aviation Centre in Airport Drive in Palmerston North. There'll be presentations, There'll be tours, both accommodation tours and tours of the flight centre, and trial flights, and that's aimed more at prospective Bachelor of Aviation pilot students. You must register online, and there is the registration link below. If you need to contact me with any questions, I'm happily available to answer these. I have an aviation@massey.ac.nz email address, my mobile phone 021 Massey. I have a Facebook page, and the university obviously has an aviation webpage that you can find out information as well. Please don't hesitate to contact us. We're always happy to answer your questions. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I hope we're going to see you at an Aviation Open Day in the near future, and I really hope we're going to see you enrolled in the Bachelor of Aviation Management program down the line. Thank you for listening.
So welcome to Sport Management at Massey. Today I'll talk to you about studying the Bachelor of Sport Management and some experience of some of our graduate students. So when I say a Bachelor of Sport Management, what does that mean? What is sport management? Is it running festivals and events? Is it working with high performance or elite athletes or community sport? Or does it mean managing corporate sponsored events? Yes, it means all of those things. Sport management really is the application of business concepts, but in a sport context. That's what it's all about. We focus on the people involved, the volunteers, the professional people, the athletes, the players, the kids themselves, and all the different activities and organizations that are part of producing and delivering sport. We also look at the economy, social aspects, the political environment, the environment itself, and how they impact sport. So one of our previous students, a graduate who now works with the ANZ as a senior sponsorship manager, she says sport is a business. People need to understand the principles of business, as I've just mentioned, like marketing, law, organizational management, finance, communication, and she was introduced to a large network of contacts that helped her get her job in the sport industry. So we do learn all those things. It's real world application. We use a lot of case studies and example. We look at people from the industry. We look at what's happening in the media, and we discuss those in class. So yes, there's theoretical knowledge, but we use all the practical aspects of what's happening out in the world of sport. So we're very relevant to the industry. We get engaged with the industry. We'll talk about some work experience opportunities that students get. Research informed. So we, as your sport management lecturers, we research in the area of sport. It is our passion. It's what we're all about. So we use some of our research to support your learning. And there's a wide range of courses that we can look at that will help you study. Some of those which Kylie had mentioned. So some of the things through those courses, when we talk about sport organizations in New Zealand, we'll look at some of our national sport organizations like Tennis New Zealand and Sport New Zealand or Triathlon New Zealand. And then we'll look internationally, the International Triathlon Union or the International Olympic Committee and the International Paralympic Committee, professional sport here in New Zealand and overseas, whether that be the NBA, or rugby happening here in New Zealand. So there's some examples of what we will cover. So who's going to teach you these things? We have 2 full-time lecturers in sport management. We have other staff that also teach in the sport management program, but we also get sport industry people in to help us, whether they come as guest lecturers, whether they teach parts of our courses, they might share some of the cases that's happening in the sport world, or we may go visit them. So we have the theoretical and practical experience and expertise. We are practically oriented. We want you to learn what's happening in the real world and how that's applied. Student focused. We are told that we're accessible, we're friendly, we're willing to mentor people, to support and guide students. And that's what it's all about. We're passionate about sport. We want you to achieve. So why would you study a Bachelor of Sport Management at Massey University? There are a few things here on the slide which are all helpful, of course, but we are a tight-knit group. We've got a passionate group of students, a passionate group of lecturers that share their learning, they share their experiences, they share their passion, and that's one of the real pluses of studying with us. We are not large classes. We're small classes where people get to know each other well. Our first years to our third years all integrate and have opportunities to share their sport management experiences. Jobs, that's one of the things that people are really interested. Once you get your Massey Bachelor of Sport Management, what type of job can you get? There are several sport organizations throughout the country where people can get jobs, or you can work with a private company. We have Regional Sport Trust. Harbor Sport is just across the road from Massey University. People can work in community sport with local authorities, and there's areas like sport development and sponsorship and marketing, communication, all the things we will cover and learn about throughout your degree. We have had people work internationally. They've worked on Rugby World Cups or Olympics or with the International Olympic Committee. So there's opportunity for you to spread your wings from New Zealand and travel internationally if that is what you would like to do. Mirren Brocky-David is one of our graduates who now works with Rally New Zealand as a manager there, and her thoughts on the degree. I would thoroughly recommend Massey's Bachelor of Sport Management degree. Gave me valuable insight into the industry. The hands-on work was so useful. So this is what I say, when we have the passion, we have the practical aspect, this is what we like. This is how we like to teach. And she says that her lecturers were so supportive and knowledgeable, and she wouldn't be where she was today without the grounding she had at Massey University. Another student, James McLean, has worked in the sport apparel industry. And he said that the Bachelor of Sport Management taught us each specific area of sport management right down to the bone, providing an in-depth view into every avenue in the sport environment. And we will talk about work experience opportunities where you get to pursue whatever area you have an interest in. And this is a practicum that it combines all your learning from your first year through to your second and third years, and you can apply it into the industry. So some of those career options, a bit more specific as to what I just said. Public relations, you can study sport marketing courses and marketing courses to supplement your degree with promotion and sponsorship, communications and social media. Very attractive options for students these days. Consultancy, we have had students that run their own consultancy events. Or as I mentioned earlier, local authorities. Work with local authority facilities or in programming, parks, management, events, and event management. There are so many events going on throughout the country, lots of opportunity to work in event management, and we'll see a couple of students who have started their own event management companies. And as I mentioned earlier, the national sport organizations, regional sport trusts, provincial sport organizations, there are all kinds of opportunities with these organizations. So this real world work experience that I talk about, the practicums, these are programs that the students say they enjoyed the most throughout the whole degree. We have two. In your second year, you do 40 hours, and in your third year, 200 hours. So you work with a sport organization of your choice, and one that you feel that you might like to pursue your career and get a job post your graduation. So it's all about your personal and professional development, the networks that you can create, and some people have gained jobs out of these experiences. Some have gained part-time work, some have gained contract work. So there's a lot of opportunity. We will work with you to ensure that you choose the right placement that's going to be a good end product for you. Steve Papps has developed two companies, Generation Dad Bob and Steve Papps Junior Consulting. And he says that the degree was a launch pad for his success. It allowed him to gain experience and knowledge within the sport industry before he'd even graduated. And this happened throughout his practicum courses and as well with these guest lecturers that we have come to the course or when we go into the industry for some site tours. So learning to be resilient and adaptable. And as he mentions here, he has these two successful jobs and he's very appreciative of that to Massey. And Steve is one of these people that come back and talk to our new students and shares his experiences. We also have Jackie Johnson. She now works with Community Leisure Management as a team manager. She did her practicums and it got her her first job in the sport industry, which was with secondary school sport here in Auckland, and she then moved to Active Auckland, and of course now at CLM. And she said the business skills that she has learned were invaluable in her journey in her jobs. Scott Rice, another graduate, started a company called Quantum Events, and he says, what I took from uni, the contacts, the networks. So again, this is that practical aspect. We get out into the industry, you get to meet people, we bring people in for you to meet. The applicable knowledge. So as was mentioned earlier, you learn about sport marketing, you learn about law, communication, finance, economics, everything that you need to know to work in the sport business. So the practical work experiences really prepared them, you as students, to get into the real world. But what else do students think? Another student has said it provides a great overview of the landscape of sport management in New Zealand. The really great thing is that it offers a real reflection of what actually happens in the world of sport business. So again, you get that practical real world viewpoint. Another student says, the practical experience was one of the most demanding but most rewarding courses. You cannot beat practical experience. Learn so much about yourself and where you want to go in life. I totally recommend this course. And many students have agreed with this student's view. And finally, Jenna Wootton. Jenna was one of our students who did her practicum with a company, and after 6 weeks, they offered her a full-time job, which she accepted. And since then, Jenna has gone on to be successful managing the World Masters Games. She was the chief executive there, and then she was also involved in the Rugby World Cup, and now she works with Sport New Zealand as a manager of partnerships and communications. And this is so true what she says. The sport business industry is incredibly small, especially in New Zealand, which is why that networking is so important, and where she started her networking through our sport management degree. Her student colleagues became her professional colleagues. It shows how well our study and lecturers set us up for success in the sector. So that is a quick summary of the Bachelor of Sport Management. We look forward to having you here on board with us. And as noted, Massey's Bachelor of Sport Management produces highly knowledgeable, connected, and sought-after graduates. I get numerous phone calls from people in the industry, either wanting somebody as a practicum student, or they've got some part-time, full-time contract work available, and they call on us to see if we've got students. And I always pass your names along. So I look forward to seeing you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tanya. It's my pleasure to present on the Master of Finance. And this is a program that I teach into and I am very passionate about. So my presentation today will be comprised of an overview. I will start with giving a bit of an outline. I'll then talk a bit more about our program and some of the specific aspects of that. The program is taught out of the School of Economics and Finance, of which I am one of the staff members. So I will discuss a little bit about our school. And then I will outline to you some of the jobs that our graduates have gone on to. We're very proud of our graduates, and they have gone on to success in many different organisations. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So the Master of Finance, or the MPhil as we refer to it, is our flagship program. It's got a great brand name, the Master of Finance, and it's very popular in both New Zealand and internationally. Studying the Master of Finance allows you to rub shoulders with others based here in New Zealand, and we also have a large cohort of students from China, from Vietnam, from Malaysia, and all around the world. So as you can imagine, we're desperately keen to see our borders reopen, because that will allow students to join us again from many international countries. At the moment, a lot of the MPhil is being delivered online so that students that are enrolled but can't physically be here can still participate in the program. So another aspect of the MPhil is the fact that it is taught out of a school that is highly ranked. Rankings have been important for quite some time in the US and in Asia, and they're becoming increasingly important in New Zealand as well. So if you think about top programs, top universities globally, I'm sure names like Harvard or Yale or Princeton, Stanford come to mind. And they come to mind because they have got the best faculty, they have got great programs, they've got great students. And we are in an international marketplace, so it's really, really important that here at Massey, within our business school, within our School of Economics and Finance, that we are focused on our rankings, because that gives credibility to our school, but even more importantly, it gives credibility to the programs that we offer and the students that graduate through our programs. Now, of course, the rankings are one thing, but it's really important in addition to that, that we have excellent teachers. It's one thing to have faculty that know a lot about a subject, but that's not of much use to students if they are not really good at articulating what they know. And on that front, there's good news. We have some great teachers in the MPhil, and I'll talk more about that later. And as I already mentioned, the MPhil is highly attractive to employers, and our students find that they are placed in very, very good jobs. So I'll take a few minutes just to discuss the program and some of the specifics of it. And as of 2021, we're looking to add a new professional option. We've always had the research option within the MPhil, but in 2021, we're looking to supplement that with a second option, being the professional option. So I'll just take a minute to talk about the two options, because one might be of more interest to you than the other. So the research option, that goes for 1.5 years. It's for students that want the most rigorous training in the finance area. And it's our estimate that this is probably the best stream or the best option for those that want high-paying jobs in industry, the type of jobs that require more analytical skills. It's also the stream or the option to take for students that want to continue on to PhD study. So as the name suggests, the research option includes a research component. So that involves our students in conjunction with a supervisor from within the School of Economics and Finance, deciding on a research project, something that interests them, something that's got the potential to make a good contribution to the current body of knowledge. And the research project will be undertaken by obtaining some data that's relevant to answering the research question, to analysing that data with an appropriate methodology, and to forming conclusions from that data. So that's the research stream that includes that research option. The second option, and what will be new for 2021, is the professional option. This has an attraction to students that want to get through slightly quicker. It only lasts for 1 year instead of 1.5 years. The other aspect too is that it's aligned with the professional accreditation. You may have heard of GARP, which is the Global Association of Risk Professionals, and that has over 150,000 professional members. The MPhil professional stream will be accredited by GARP. And that will be of particular interest for students that want to work in areas like risk management. How do they help organisations navigate through the various financial risks that they might encounter, and how do they help them mitigate some of those risks? So the GARP is similar to the CFA, which is something you might have heard of in the Chartered Financial Analyst designation, an industry designation that gives added credibility to a program. And for those of you who are interested in the MPhil but are unsure which one is for you, which stream is for you, there will be the option to switch between the two after the first semester. So there will be some flexibility there. I touched on our rankings earlier. So the good news is that the Massey Finance program is particularly highly ranked globally. So there's various institutions that assign rankings to university programs, and two of the premier rankings institutions are Shanghai and then the QS, and we're ranked in the top 150 in the world in both of those. And being in the top 150 might not sound like a huge achievement, but when you think of the thousands of universities that there are globally, there is. And to put it in a slightly more local context, we're ranked #1 in New Zealand in finance, and we're ranked very, very highly within the Asia Pacific region, because as you can imagine, a lot of the top universities globally are in the US. So the School of Economics and Finance, of which teaches the MPhil qualification, is located within the Massey Business School. So we're just one of the subgroups within the Massey Business School. Other subgroupings would be things like management and accountancy and so on. So the good news for you considering to study at Massey is that our business school is also highly regarded, and it's accredited by a lot of international institutions who analyze different aspects of the business school and check that it meets with their values and delivers according to what they would want to see, and provide an accreditation, a stamp of approval, if you like, that endorses what we do as a business school. So in terms of the staff that anybody that studies the MPhil will encounter, we've got some high quality faculty who I love working alongside. So first and foremost, we have researchers that publish in the best journals in the world. And this is really important for students studying at the postgraduate level, because postgraduate study involves considering the latest research in an area. And it's really important that you have an excellent researcher that's actually navigating through that material with you and teaching you, because they'll be the best place to put it in context, to give some background as to how the research might have been conducted, and to give you a view as to how that research might be applied outside of a university setting. So our researchers have won numerous prizes for their work. Prizes tend to be awarded for research projects that are presented at conferences and that are particularly relevant to industry. And as mentioned earlier, research is great, but it's of limited use to a student if the person in front of them has limited ability to be able to articulate what the research actually means and what the relevance of it is. And there's good news on that front. Some of my colleagues have won national teaching awards. The government hands out awards every year to a select number of university lecturers who are the best at teaching their students. And colleagues have also won international teaching awards as well. I think one of the things that sets Massey apart as a business school, and most certainly within the MPhil, is the interest that staff have in applying the material that we teach. It's not just something that sits within a university context that has no connection to the real world. Our staff are actively involved in working with organisations of various types and applying the financial principles that they research in and lecture in on a regular basis. So myself, I've conducted work for Fletcher Building. I've worked on a project for the New Zealand Stock Exchange in their derivatives area, and I also work alongside a firm providing portfolios that are picked up by investment professionals throughout the year. So there's a heavy practical emphasis within the MPhil. And one of the things that we're particularly proud of is our graduates. Perhaps one of the best signs of a program is where do the graduates of that program actually end up? What does it allow them to achieve by way of career? And I've given some names on the slide in front of us. There are many more names that didn't fit on, but names to you, people to me, and I just think of the development of some of these people, some just came through as students and hadn't had work experience. Others had work experience and saw it as a great professional development opportunity. And I think without fail, people have been very, very happy with what it's allowed them to go on and achieve. And I think in part, this is due to the way in which the MPhil is delivered. We focus on imparting the knowledge that we can that's very relevant from a financial perspective, but the MPhil is delivered in a very collaborative way. It's very much a round table discussion. Students present to other students in their class. There's group work, there's applied projects. There's lots and lots of skills that are generic skills that apply in any setting and in any discipline that are learnt on the MPhil. Of course, we focus on those particular attributes within the finance setting because that's what the papers and the courses are focused on, but they are skills that are generic. So that's the end of my presentation. I trust that that was helpful and useful for you.
Thank you very much for turning up. I hope this won't take too much of your time. What I'm going to do over the next 15 minutes or so is just outline what the Master of Business Studies is, what you can do with it, and more or less why you should actually do this degree. Essentially, the Master of Business Studies is a premier degree. It is a 100 credit master degree in business. It takes 1.5 years to do, and it differentiates by some of our master's offering in that it is research based as a degree. So by that, what we really like is people who have done maybe 1 or 2 taught courses, and one of those taught courses would be the research methodology course, and then one other course from all sorts of majors within the business school that we have here at Massey. It could be economics, could be finance, could be management, it could be HR, marketing. I'm based in the management school, so that's where most of my expertise and discussion will come from. It's the only master's degree in the Massey Business School that will lead directly to a PhD without any problems. Reason for that is, as I said, either 120 credits of the 180 credits or 90 credits or 60 credits of your degree is research. I wouldn't be too concerned. You know, a lot of you will go, I can't be biffed with doing 120 credits worth of thesis. That's fine. The degree's not for you. However, think about it carefully, because what the degree actually does is say to an employer that you have come up with an idea, you have investigated that idea, you have written a substantial piece of work that contributes to the overall body of knowledge, and that you can argue your idea. So in terms of being a attractive proposition for any employer, being able to say that's what you've done is a very, very good thing. It does not necessarily have to lead to a PhD. In fact, most people that do the Master of Business Studies don't go on and do a PhD. They go into research positions in industry. That includes the wider industry in terms of public service and that sort of thing. So our ideal candidate coming straight out of university would be someone with a grade point average of 4 or above. So that in practical terms is a minimum of a B-. Now that means that over the average of your Part A courses, and you will do either 2, 3 or 4 Part A courses depending upon whether you want to choose a 120, 90 or 60 credit research report. B- is not it's not hard. Or you can have an honours degree, and that honours degree needs to be a GPA of at least 4. The other thing we're looking for is someone who has a drive to look for something new, look for something different, look for something that's going to spend about a year of their time investigating. So this is a solid piece of work. It's, as I said, our premium degree, and you must really think about this hard if you want to do this sort of work, because we also have another degree which my colleague will talk to you about shortly, called the Master of Management. It's difficult to change from the Master of Management into the Master of Business Studies degree, because the courses don't really match up in the early part of that degree, so it's not as seamless as moving from one to the other. So what we're looking at is someone who will work under supervision, as the previous presenter Ben said. You will have a supervisor that will guide you. The supervisor won't come up with the idea, but the supervisor will assist you in finding the best way to go about investigating it, will advise you on where the literature can be found, will advise you on how to craft the document so that it reads well, and so that when you present it, and you will present it to external people, so this isn't marked by the university, which is another big plus. It means it's externally validated. It means that somebody from outside the university, someone who is not your supervisor, has read this document and thought, what a wonderful piece of work it is. And that also helps when you're looking for jobs in the future. So in terms of employment.
Sorry, Andrew,
Yep.
did you have some visuals to go alongside your presentation?
Yeah, I do.
That'd be super.
I should be sharing my screen with you all right now, to be honest. I'm surprised it's not, because when I ran through this, it did. One moment, viewer.
Not a problem.
Yeah, it says it's sharing. I'll just do that again.
Sure, you do that again.
I've done it again. And
You are fine. You are fine.
It actually says it's sharing. This is causing me jip.
Oh, we won't cause any anxiety
listening
or any jip.
Is
It
as
is
a
now
as a
sharing.
colloquial term meaning annoyed.
We can see your slides now, Andrew.
All right, I'll
You
just
want
just put them on to
Easy.
slideshow. Oh my God.
No,
Yeah,
that's
this is
fine.
now. Let me explain something to you wonderful people who are watching here. This happens when we go, oh, I think I know what I'm doing, and what helps is sometimes it's really nice to be told immediately. Sometimes in class I'll be standing in front of the screen, I'll be walking backwards and forwards, and we'll be referring to the slides, and students will be looking at that, and half an hour later they'll go, and there's no slides on the screen. Right, let's just catch up. Alrighty. So that's what I was talking about in terms of the honours degree, okay? So here we are where we left off. The degree is a research degree, and in order, from my point of view, it is an excellent piece of work to go and wave under an employer. It demonstrates that you are able to come up with an independent idea, an idea that is yours and that you have spent some time investigating. It displays that you are able to have some degree of independence, initiative, and most importantly, very good critical abilities. Because what happens when you write a thesis is you're writing essentially a very long argument. And to write a very long argument, you also need to be able to come up with pros and cons, but more importantly, the pros of your argument, and show how the cons don't actually apply. So very, very good in terms of saying to an employer, I am able to critically assess your situation. And of course, it'll lead on to a PhD, which isn't a bad thing to do, really. Okay, it's a premier business degree within the Massey Business School. That's because it is essentially a research degree. It can lead to a PhD, whereas other master degrees within the business school will not. Master of Finance is an outlier here. in that they have some research in their degree that allows people to do a PhD in the finance area. But in terms of the management, no, you can't do a PhD from any other management degree except the Masters of Business Studies. And finally, it demonstrates a high level of initiative and self-organisation. Now, I'm apologise profusely for you not being able to see most of those slides during my little short chat, but I'm sure you got the gist of it. Sometimes the slides can be used as basically a crutch, so that the presenter is not really doing much except reading the slides. And in this case, I wasn't. So that's really quite interesting for me, but not you. So I'm going to leave it there. That would be the end of my presentation. I'm quite happy to answer any questions you have, but I think I might have nearly run out of time for that.
Thanks, Tanya, and good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce the Master of Professional Accountancy in Finance. I teach in the program. The program was started in 2013 and has now grown to be one of the largest master's programs in the Massey Business School. We have over 100 students currently doing this program. We use the title MPAF for short, for the Master of Professional Accountancy in Finance. If you've attended my colleagues' presentations on the Master of Finance and the Master of Business Studies, those were research masters. This is a taught master's. Has a different orientation from the research masters. And I guess one of the questions you have in your mind, is this the master's for me? I'm just going to change the slide. If you tick any of these boxes, this is probably the master's you should consider. You're looking for a career in the accountancy or the finance profession. You could have had some other career, some other job, and you're looking for a change, and the accountancy or the finance profession appeals to you. This would be the master's for you. Are you looking for developing a skill set in accountancy or finance? You may not necessarily looking for an accounting job or a finance job. You could be doing anything else in the accountancy and finance skill set would be relevant to almost any job you can think of in business. If you're looking at developing that, this could be the master's for you. If you also think that this is the time to have a professional qualifications in accountancy, such as becoming a chartered accountant or a CPA, this would be the program that will give you the opportunity. I'm just going to talk about the structure of the program, but I guess the first questions in your mind would be, what are the requirements for admissions in this program? All you need is a bachelor degree, a completed bachelor degree in any discipline. We actually currently, if you look at the profile of our students in program, the majority have no business degree background. The majority would be in arts, engineering. We actually had medical doctors joining the program because they're looking at changing careers and moving into management levels, and the skill set they could develop with the program will help them achieve that. So any bachelor degree in any discipline, we're looking at that the bachelor degree is of some quality. So we're looking for an academic average grade average point, or an average of B- or higher, because we believe if you have that sort of bachelor degree with that level of quality, you're likely to be successful in this program. The structure of the program, as I said earlier on, is a taught program. So there are a number of courses that you need to complete the program. There are actually 16 courses, to complete the program divided in two parts. Part A, which is the foundation part, and Part B is the advanced accounting and finance. Part A gives you the general background in business, including accounting, finance, management, economic, business law, statistics. And then once you complete the Part A, the foundation part, you move to Part B, and you will have opportunities to acquire advanced knowledge in accounting that includes financial accounting, management accounting, auditing and assurance, and tax, and also the finance part that includes corporate finance, international finance, asset management, and risk management. This program can be completed full-time or part-time. If you want to do it full-time, it'll take about 2 years or 4 semesters. We have 2 semesters a year. One starts February, finishes in June. The second one, which is in this year, is going to start shortly in July, sort of from July to November. So 4 semesters full-time, or you can actually do it part-time, and you can take up to 6 years to complete this master's. We actually have students who have started full-time, and then their circumstances have changed. They moved to part-time. We also had the reverse, started part-time, but they finished the program full-time. This program is offered face-to-face. If you want to attend any a campus learning face-to-face, we offer it in Auckland, and we also offer it on our Manawatu campus here in Palmerston North. And it's also available by distance, where the learning will be online and through our management, learning management system. So can be in, yes, 4 semesters full-time or up to 6 years part-time. The other thing that I should have said, you can actually start in February or start in July. So this program, there are 2 entry points. It doesn't necessarily need to be at the beginning of the year. So we actually have the largest cohort of students normally would start in July, but we also have a good group of students who start in February. And this is sort of generally the structure, full-time over 4 semesters over 2 years. As I said, one of the outcomes of completing this qualification would lead to a professional qualification. If you wish to become a chartered accountant, completing this program meets all the academic requirements to becoming a chartered accountant. So you complete this program, you join Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand as a provisional member, you complete their professional program, and you become a fully qualified chartered accountant. The other option, you may choose to be a CPA through CPA Australia. This program is accredited by CPA Australia, and they have a similar program to chartered accountants. We also, this program is accredited by ACCA based in the UK, but it's a global qualification. In completing this program, you get the maximum exemption toward ACCA qualification. This program is unique. This is the only master's program in New Zealand that is endorsed by the CFA Institute. So if you're looking at becoming a chartered financial analyst, this program is endorsed because it provides the background to enable you to do the CFA exam. In addition to the classroom learning experience through the School of Accountancy, and I'm the head of the School of Accountancy, we actually do have extracurricular activities that students participate in. And the Masters of Professional Accounting and Finance students are involved in this program. It's a community accounting initiative. We have community accounting organization in Auckland and in Palmerston North, where we've set up a joint program, community accounting program, where the students in groups provide advice and training to community organizations, the non-profit organizations. The working group supervised by chartered accountants and provides training and advice to community organizations and gives them the opportunity to apply the skills that they've acquired in the classroom in real situations, and also providing a community service to community organizations. We do have it both physically, the Auckland Community Accounting, but we also have a virtual one, which is Community Accounting at Taurua, where we provide, or the students in groups supervised by chartered accountants provide advice and training to community organizations throughout New Zealand. And so this is a great opportunity for students involved in the master program to be involved in this community initiative. We do also have lots of other activities. We do have accountancy clubs on our campuses, where students in the master's program would have the opportunity to be involved in organizing various professional activities. In terms of any additional information, we do have the MPAF information available on Massey website. If you go www.massey.ac.nz/MPAF, you will find all the information about the MPAF. In terms of email, you can email mpaf@massey.ac.nz, or you can actually visit one of our Facebook pages. We do have a Facebook page for the MPAF program, mpaf.massey, or we look at the accountancy Facebook pages. So I'm happy to take any questions. I'm not sure how much time I've used, Tanya, but I'm happy to take any questions right now or anytime.
So good evening, everybody. My name is Teo. Thank you for the introduction. I'm a computer scientist. I'm also the program director for the Master of Analytics, and I also teach into this program. What I'm going to do with this presentation is perhaps something slightly different. I'm not going to focus so much on the details of the program itself, but I want to talk about your job prospects coming out of this degree. So everything I say, I want to link it to you maximizing getting a very good and satisfying job afterwards. Now, my assumption is that you're here and you're listening to this because you're either wanting to upskill or reskill. And so my hope is that certainly this is going to provide an opportunity for you after taking this degree. So before we jump into talking about this degree, let's set a context. Let's talk about what is the industry looking for somebody who comes out with a data science degree, somebody who calls themselves an analytics expert. So there are three things I want to focus on. First one is you need to be somebody who has strong hands-on skills. So if you're a data scientist, you're a doer. You're not somebody who's necessarily going to be talking about these things. You're somebody who's going to be applying algorithms, somebody who's going to be tweaking algorithms and extracting information, insights out of them. So skills are really, really central to this degree. And those skills need to be undergirded by theoretical knowledge. So knowing which algorithms to use has to be something that's really built and something you've got under your belt. Both of these aspects, they have to be taught or learned by using real-world examples, so practical experience in solving problems. Something that's quite different about the Master of Analytics to, say, other business degrees would be that technology plays such a central role in you getting a job. So your job, and whether or not you get one, is going to be to a large degree determined whether or not you've managed to learn your skills using a right technology, the one that the industry is actually after. So I'll spend a little bit of time talking about what those technologies actually are, because they're very, very important. And lastly, even though there's a skills shortage in data science and analytics space, it's still really important that you have some work experience under your belt. And so we'll see how this degree actually helps to meet that requirement which the industry is looking for. So how do those things link in with the degree structure? So there are three parts to the degree. The first one is the core. So in the core, you get to learn those hard skills. So you learn how to program. You learned that with me, how to do machine learning, how to do data mining, and some sophisticated statistical techniques as well as theory. After that, you choose your specialization. You have several options. You can specialize in business, and then within business we have two streams. You can go down the marketing stream, or you can go down the finance stream. We also have the health specialization and the public policy. Once you've completed this component, then what we do is we send you out into the wild, so to speak, and you have an integrated internship component that is part of this degree, and this is very unique to Massey's Master of Analytics degree. There are other degrees around New Zealand that have internships, but ours is an integral component of this whole degree. And it's a massive draw card as well for students because, well, I'll talk about this later on as well, these internships oftentimes lead to jobs. So what are some of these technologies that are really, really important? So irrespective of whether or not you come and do this degree with us or not, these are technologies that you should really keep front and center when you're looking to upskill in this area. First one is Python. Python is massively in demand in the industry. This is a programming technology. This is something that I would be teaching. SAS is world-leading company in software solutions for analytics, and they've partnered with us. So we use SAS heavily throughout all of our courses. R, huge statistical tool that's very, very popular, as well as SQL, which allows you to interface with databases and pull data from them. So it doesn't matter so much whether or not you've heard of these technologies or not, but store them at the back of your mind. So I guess the question now is, how can you fact check what I've just told you? How would you know that these technologies really are in demand? So if I were to ask you, go and find out who uses these technologies, you might go to Job Seeker, you might go to LinkedIn, and you might trawl through a whole lot of job adverts and see what kinds of technologies employers are looking for. So there was a data scientist last year who wrote a piece of software that trawled a whole lot of platforms that advertise jobs, and he pulled 25,000 adverts from them and essentially analyzed to see what technologies are employers asking for. And what you will see here is that the top three, Python, R, and SQL, are the ones that we use. So 70%, over 70% of the employers are looking for Python. A little under that for R and SQL, and then SAS is there as well. So this degree is really fit for purpose in that respect. One of the bonuses coming out of this degree is that you also get certified in SAS. So we have a partnership with SAS, and any student coming out of the degree gets a very valuable certification as well with SAS. So these things normally cost several $1,000s, and you get that thrown in, which is a huge, huge bonus. And lastly, when it comes to internships, these are the companies that partner with us. So towards the end of your degree, this is around November right through to March, what we do is we send you out there to our partner companies, and you get to solve their problems, their data problems. You get to apply machine learning. And the nice thing is we know that this degree works. We know that this degree produces what the companies are looking for because they keep coming back to us. All these companies that have been coming back to us for years. And the nice thing is, as I said before, a lot of our students who have done internships with these companies, they get a job there as well. And these are big companies. These are household names. So this is a big draw card. So now I want to focus on the actual labor market, the job market, and your prospects of getting a job as a data scientist, as a data analyst. What does it look like? Well, if you go onto the careers.gov.nz NZ website, you'll see what the status is for data analysts, and this encapsulates data scientists as well. So in the central component here, you'll see the government evaluates the prospects as being good, and I think this is a massive understatement. I think there should be another little slice and another little quadrant for very good, because if you do any searches on data science jobs out there, you'll see that there's an article that talks about the skills shortage in this area. And if you look in this component here, this is what you can expect as your salary, and it's a pretty good salary as well. So that shows that there is a demand for these kinds of jobs. Another piece of evidence that there is a heavy demand for this is if you look at the LinkedIn 2020 Emerging Jobs Report. In it, they have a really interesting comment. And they say data science is booming and starting to replace legacy roles. And one of the things that I think that we all need to be aware of is that with automation and AI coming into full force, a lot of roles are going to disappear, or at least are going to be fewer and fewer jobs in them. A lot of sort of standard jobs are going to be replaced, so you'll need fewer people doing them. And so one thing to keep in mind is choose a career that's going to future-proof your employment prospects. And I think data science, being an analyst, is one of those paths that does secure that as much as possible. So in this report, they had data scientists as being the top 3 job. It had a 37% annual growth. Year on year, data scientist is ranked as one of the top jobs. And also, you should keep in mind that the top job that LinkedIn identified is an artificial intelligence expert as well. So, and this is quite closely linked into. Now, on a slightly alarming note, but we'll try and pull out some opportunities out of this. We are living in crisis times, and a full-blown recession is about to kick in, and jobs are going to become even more scarce. And this is what the companies are going to be looking to do. There are 3 things. They're going to be looking for efficiency. Companies are going to be looking at these difficult times and how to innovate and create new products. And they're also going to be looking for ways to make better decisions. And if you're a data scientist, then you are best placed to move companies forward and meet those 3 requirements. So I think that even though we're heading into more difficult times, the opportunities are going to be there for data scientists, those coming out with the degrees in analytics, knowing how to work with data, knowing how to produce new products. So what do you need to be a data scientist? 4 things. I think front and center, you need to be curious. You need to be somebody who just loves investigating, loves chewing on problems and problem solving. You need to be somebody, obviously, who wants to work with data and who wants to find and uncover patterns there. And you can be both strongly quantitative, obviously that's a strength, but you could be a qualitative person as well. Both those types of roles have a place in this field. And so if you're one of those people, then I think this degree could be for you. I'll wrap up there. So if there are any questions, please fire away.
Thank you very much, and everyone, welcome to this section of the Master of Management program here at Massey Business School. So we'll share my screen to you, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so just to begin, my name's Wayne McPherson, and I am the program director here. I've been in the role for 1.5 years now, and this is actually a refreshed Master of Management program. Prior to that, there was a program of the same name that had been running for a number of years, since about 2000, but we did refresh the whole program, and that commenced semester 1 last year. So this is a new rollout, new design, and of course new content, new context as well. So far very successful. Talking to the students, very happy people coming out of the course, and also students we have on campus at the moment and online. Just a bit about myself. I actually did a undergrad at Bachelor of Business Studies in International Finance and Banking at Massey, and From there, after graduation, I went to Japan, completed a Master of Commerce, and then returned to Massey to do my Doctor of Business Administration. And from there, was actually luckily enough to find a job and into the position I am today. So, as well as being the Director of the Master of Management program, I'm also a Senior Lecturer in International Business. Just to move on to the next screen here. So, just looking at the program outline. So the Master of Management is an internationally recognised practice-based program, and it's designed to give you, the students, an international perspective on management and business, and of course build your communication skills necessary to prepare you for a future in business. The program is offered of durations of 18 and 12 months. So the 18-month program is offered on all campuses, being Albany up in Auckland, Manawatu here in Palmerston North and down in Wellington, and also online. With the 12-month program, this is offered exclusively on the Manawatu campus. So the Albany cohorts, Albany intakes commence both semester 1 and semester 2. Manawatu predominantly in semester 1 and Wellington in semester 2, and of course online semester 1 and 2. So, you know, you're able to choose when you actually enter the program. Now, the Master of Management specialisations offered in the 18-month program. So these are, as you can see there on the list, agribusiness, banking and finance, communication, financial economics, HRM, human resource management, international business, and from next year, 2021, we'll also be offering journalism, continuing their management, marketing, sustainability. We previously had health service management as one of our specialisations, but this has actually been separated out and has become an independent Master of Health Service Management. So if you have an interest in that, please check out the Massey website. Now, the specialisations offered in the 12-month program, this, as I said, is on the Manawatu campus. These are communication, financial economics, HRM, management and marketing. So both the 18-month and the 12-month programs deliver the same learning outcomes and of course the same engagement processes. And at the moment with the COVID, with the impact it's had on the university and of course teaching and learning approaches, we're actually moving to a blended program. So students who are actually studying internally or on campus, some of the teaching, some of the learning will be on campus and face-to-face, and others will be online. So we're moving from a campus only to a blended campus and online delivery model. And of course, students who are distance students, you will be studying online only. So looking next at a graduate, the graduate profile. So once you graduate, what will you possess? What skills will you have? So as a graduate of the Master of Management, you'll be able to demonstrate the following attributes and skills. And so you will have developed an international perspective on the discipline under the study. So rather than having just the domestic perspective there, we actually pushed for an international perspective. So an international mindset, cultural literacy, and of course understanding of the global markets. You will have developed in-depth knowledge and skills in your discipline, either through professional experience or professional education programs there. Also, you'll understand and be able to apply investigative and professional attributes to the business environment in which you are working. Further, you'll be practiced in clearly and concisely communicating investigative findings in both oral and written form. And finally, you'll be able to work independently and in teams, and of course be able to interact effectively with colleagues, clients, and other professionals in your field of work. So looking next at the Master of Management structure. So the program is 180 credits and it's made up of two distinct parts. Part 1 provides the foundation core courses and the specialisation elective courses in your chosen discipline, or as we refer to here, the specialisation. So with part 2 of the program, this provides the capstone professional practice course, and this is in the final semester. As mentioned, the Master of Management program, it is delivered in 2 distinct parts over 3 semesters. This is equivalent to 18 months of full-time study. However, the 12-month course, now this is streamlined to 1 academic year. So being part 1 delivered in semesters 1 and 2, and part 2, you see there, this is delivered in semester 3, which coincides on the Manawatu campus with summer school. So it stretches from November through to January, February there. So in the program, in your first semester, you will undertake 2 15-credit foundation core courses. These are in transferable skills for the workplace. The first one listed there is 115758 by number, but it is interpersonal communication at work. And the second course there, current issues in business. Also in the first semester, you'll undertake 1 30-credit introductory specialisation course, whether it be agribusiness, management, etc. Alternatively, from 2021, next year, we will also be offering a 30-credit core course. This is replaces the first 2. This is by your selection, and this is titled Examining Business Dilemmas. This course targets both professional and mid-career students, usually with 5 or more years of work experience, or students without work experience, exceptional graduates who display high academic ability. For this, to actually enter this course, you will need to apply and get sign-off by the director here. So in your second semester, you'll complete 2 30-credit specialisation courses within your chosen specialisation. As I said, this could possibly be agribusiness, management, international business, etc. And of course, you'll be able to select from several available courses within your specialisation. Now, in the third and final semester, you will undertake the part 2 of the Master of Management program, and this is the 60-credit capstone professional practice course. You will undertake a professional action investigation within your specialisation area. Of course, you will be engaging with real New Zealand companies in real time as well. So for you to progress from each semester, in part 1 there, from semester 1 to semester 2, and of course from part 1 into part 2, semester 2 to semester 3, you'll be required to achieve a GPA of a B- or above. Now this is the same as the entry requirements, actually coming into the master program, which is a B- or above. And as you can see here, there is the option to exit between semester 1 and semester 2 with a postgraduate certificate in business, should you not be able to achieve that GPA, or should you decide to exit the program at that time. And between part 1 and part 2, there's also the opportunity or the exit with a postgraduate diploma in business. Again, failure to achieve the GPA, or through your own decision to leave the program earlier. Also, as a full-time student, you will also complete 60 credits of coursework each semester. 60 credits amounts to about 60 hours per week as a count. So however, if you study part-time, your workload would be lesser over the same time there. We're lucky that the university's National Centre for Teaching and Learning, or the NCTL, which are referenced on the website, they're able to provide cohort-focused and, of course, individually focused support workshops. Of course, these are as deemed necessary. So if you find that you require extra work, extra support, then, of course, contact the university regarding that. Some areas where they're able to help may be oral presentation skills, business writing skills, reflective thinking, and possibly critical thinking. But if there's any support that you do require, both academic and non-academic, then definitely contact the university and let us know. So basically, we are looking forward to seeing you on campus or even online with our blended learning or, of course, online learning approach today. If you require more information about the Master of Management program, there's a tiny URL there, just tiny.cc and of course MMGT, or you can find more information on the Massey website, and you can just do a search there for the Master of Management program. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always very happy to answer those.
Here shows you a picture of 3 of our students who are currently studying with us. So they may or may not look like you. We have a great variety of students that join us all the time, and they come from all walks of life. And the thing about an MBA is that it's a professional master's. So our job is to help you to do your job better. Most people that come to us, they're either looking for a ladder, something to increase their career, or they're looking for a bridge. They're looking to change their career. And so with the staff that we have on the MBA, what they allow you to do is to practice while you're doing your course with us. So though we teach you academic learning, we also make it very practical. All of our academic staff work in business as well, so they have a great, they know how it works in the real world. So one of the things that we cover in the MBA is that you'll acquire new skills and new knowledge. Management skills are really important through the process, but we're also improving your leadership skills. And for some of you, we'll be credentialising some of that on-the-job learning that you've got. So for some of you, you'll have moments where you go, that's why we do something. In the business that we work in. You may be in marketing, for example, and all of a sudden we're teaching you about accounting. You go, that's why they keep hounding me about that particular thing. There'll be those moments that you'll learn while you're progressing through the program. And we also have great connections. So not only with the students, but also with the guest speakers that we have come into the class, you'll get to know them well, get to know our staff, our academics, and also the support staff that we have. So the MBA actually has 2 modes, and you've probably heard this if you've been listening to other presentations, that we have online and we have full-time. Now the online is not the full-time recorded. The online is a very special online program that we've developed with a company called Wiley Education. Now they're world leaders in online learning, and Massey's trialling this with us, and it's the most amazing technology. It allows you to come in anytime, day or night, onto the platform, and you can do your study then. You don't need to wait for a class, and you do interactive activities. There are quizzes. That we've recorded lots of things beforehand with great technology, so that the academic is actually just talking to you about the online subjects that we have. So you can see that it's a personalised learning journey. Unlike some of our other programs, we don't dictate in what order you take the programs. There is, just like if you were listening to the Masters of Management, there is a part 1 and a part 2. So you complete most of the program and then you move into the part 2, but you can do them in any order. And the great thing is that you can do it, the quickest time is about 2 years. But you can also do it up to 5 years. So if things get really busy at work, you can say, I'm not going to study now, I'm going to take a wee break, and then I can come back and do it. It's incredibly flexible, and it's also really convenient. When I said to you, you can just do it anytime. If you're a morning person, you can get online and do it at that time. And if you're a night owl, then you can do it then as well. The full-time is offered in Auckland on the Albany campus, and you can do that really quickly in 12 months. So for a lot of people, especially if they're not working at the moment or they're only working part-time, they decide to do that. You come into class on a Tuesday, a Wednesday and a Thursday, but it's only between 3 and 7 or 3 and 8. And both of those, the online and the full-time, they're 7-week courses. So we fall outside of the semesters. So you can do a course for 7 weeks, you have a little mini break of a week or 2, and then you start your next course. For the full-time, because they're doing it much quicker, you do 2 courses at one time, but for the online, it's just 1 course at a time. So if you wanted to look at the MBA, you would need 3 years of relevant full-time work experience. We like you to have a postgraduate, an undergraduate degree, but it also says on here comparable qualifications. So if you don't have an undergraduate degree, you need to contact us and we can work you through some pathways of how you can start the program with us without having to complete an undergraduate degree. It is one of the few qualifications where that can apply. So we start 3 times a year. Next one's July, just saying. So if you want to get your application in, there's still plenty of time. And we also start a little bit early. So don't think that we start with the normal July intake. We actually start on the 6th of July. We start at the beginning of every of those 3 months. So early in July, 6th of July, the beginning of November, and the beginning of March. With COVID-19 at the moment, we've actually got permission that you can start the online MBA anytime that we start a new course. So if you decided that July was too soon for you, you can then wait for and join us in August when the next course starts. So the MBA, as I said, is made up of 2 parts. It's 10 courses in total. It's a 180 credit course. And the first part has 6 core courses and you do them 7 weeks at a time. Now that's about 150 hours per course. And so you need to be self-directed. So you need to be somebody who can look after your time schedule. Though we have a lovely lady in our office who'll keep you on track as well. You can choose to have a specialisation or not. So the specialisations for online, there's just one at the moment, and that's digital transformation, and you need to do 2 courses for that. But if you lived in the Auckland region, you could also come in and join the full-time class and do international marketing and business sustainability. And over the next couple of years, both of those will go online as well. So if you're not ready, you can do no specialisation, or you can choose one of these here. And then once you've finished those, just like the Masters of Management, you need to have a B- average. And if you have a B- average, you can then do the last 2 courses, and they're bigger, they're 30 credits. And so they take 14 weeks to do. Now, the first one is an international strategy project. And so that's a piece of work that you'll need to do that will support you to do looking at global business. The full-time class are lucky enough to have a little study tour that they do in New Zealand, and the online students are able to join that if they want to. So we go and visit some businesses. Otherwise, you can do it entirely online. For the self-paced action learning project, that's a research project. And so if you've done a specialisation, the topic will need to relate to that. If you've decided on no specialisation, you can do it on any topic that you like. Now, for those that are in the full-time program, they actually get work experience while they do that. And there is an option for online people to also, if they're not working, to participate in that as well. So who's in the class with you? So here's a picture of one of our classes that's going at the moment. So the average size of the class is around 20. 40% are women, 60% are men. The average age is 37. The average work experience is 10 years. And the ages range from mid-20s to mid-50s. Most people are in the earlier part of their career, but we also have some people who are more senior, and they join our online class because they're not able to join our executive MBA class, probably where they live or the timing, so they join this class here. So there's rich learning that you can get from your classmates. Tuition fee, the domestic tuition fee is $43,000. You don't have to pay it all up front. It's by semester. There's usually 2 classes or courses per semester. So that's about $7,000 a semester. Included in that cost are your ebooks and your study materials. And you can apply to StudyLink for funding for that, for both of those. We do ask you to allow a little bit of money if you want to come up to orientation. If you don't live in Auckland, we have an orientation day before we start to help you get ready. Lots of our students haven't studied in a while, so they like to come back and find out what they need to do and how they can succeed really well, and we help them with that. The course fees do increase each year, just like most of the courses at Massey. But the really good thing is that we have $2,000 awards that are available automatically to students who qualify. So there are 3 $2,000 awards available to every student. High GPA, so you need an A- average for your undergrad degree, 5 years or more relevant work experience, and another master's. And if you have another master's, that needs to have a B- average. So you can get a total of $6,000 for the 2 or the 4. Now we have 30 of those per intake, so there's 90 a year. And we allocate those automatically. We let you know if there are none left, so you might decide that you need to wait to the next one to collect those. We're globally recognised. We have nearly 3,000 alumni. We are accredited. The business school is accredited with AACSB, an American accreditation, and AMBA is the Association of MBAs, and most MBAs are actually associated with them, and they help keep us on the straight and narrow. They come and make sure that we do as we say we're going to do, and that gives you great confidence. When you go around the world and work with an MBA from Massey, they will know that it's a credible MBA when you have these accreditations. Shanghai ranking also rank the Massey MBA as the top MBA in New Zealand, and globally we're in that 100 to 150 bracket, which is pretty high. CEO magazine also rank MBA programs, and we're in the top tier, tier 1, and our online MBA is ranked 9th, which is out of 70, which is really high. So one of the things about that an MBA will give you is capacity. So capability is the first one. So we will teach you lots of things and you will practically be able to apply those straight away. We'll give you capacity. You will learn ways to do things smarter, faster. We'll give you confidence. You'll be able to try anything you want to put your mind to, and it'll give you the courage to go off and do it. Some of our students come onto our program thinking that they want to go to get a higher job in a business. And by the time they've finished, they've decided that they actually want to run their own business, and they have the courage to go off and do that. These are some of our graduates that graduated in November. They come in all shapes and sizes. They're in all ages. They come from all businesses. So we have people who work for not-for-profits, in government, in large corporates. Some own their own business. Some are one-man bands, and all of them learn from each other. So the beauty about the program is that there are many ways to solve problems, and if you have great diversity in the room, that allows you to do that. One of the other things that we've now started doing is we have a job placement assistance for those people who aren't working. So we help you to find a job when you've finished the program. But we also have the Career Accelerator, and we've just had one on LinkedIn, on your LinkedIn profile, how to get your online profile looking great, because you will be different from the time you start to the time you finish, and you need to upgrade the image that people have of you when you have finished or while you're studying. On Monday, we've got one on CV writing. I'm definitely going to go to that because I haven't written a CV in a long time. And so it's really good for us to hear from people who look at CVs all the time about what it should look like. The person who did LinkedIn's actually the recruiter, the head recruiter at the Warehouse Group. And so she was saying what she looks at when she looks at a LinkedIn profile. And we've got a recruiter, an executive recruiter coming in on Monday, and she's going to talk about when a CV passes across the desk, what it looks like, what you should have in it and what you shouldn't. And there's a whole group of those. So we grow your ability to get better jobs as you work all the way through it. Last one is what you need to do next. So the next intake is the 6th of July. You can, if you want to have a look at the online MBA, then it's just the Massey, www.massey.ac.nz/study MBA. You can send me an email, the mba@massey.ac.nz, comes straight to me. And my direct dial phone number, because you can be anywhere in New Zealand, 0800 505 825. And if you want to have a look at the other program that we have, which is the Executive MBA, that's a classroom-based MBA, then the address for that is www.massey.ac.nz/MBA, and that will take you to both, and then you can select.
So look, it's lovely to be here, and I'm really pleased to be able to talk to you a little bit about journalism at Massey University and our postgraduate program that we have. So before I talk to the slide, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the program leader of journalism at Massey, and I was a journalist for about 20 years before I came to Massey in 2005, and since then I've been teaching journalism and researching it and publishing as a journalism scholar and helping develop Massey's journalism program. So I guess I've only got 3 slides, and I want to leave some time for questions and talk to them. So why should you consider journalism at Massey? Well, we are New Zealand's oldest continuously operating and largest journalism school. We've been going since 1966. Many of New Zealand's most well-known journalists have come through our program, either at Massey or in its former iteration as the Wellington Polytechnic. And we are also the biggest in terms of numbers, and we also probably the most successful in terms of regular winning of awards, student awards, that sort of thing. Our alumni are spread right throughout the industry and around the world for that matter, as well as all the major New Zealand news organisations. We have alumni working at the BBC, at CNN, Reuters, Al Jazeera and others. So we've got a very long and proud tradition, which we like to uphold, and we intend to continue doing that. It's a very practical course that we run, our postgraduate course, and industry respected. As you've seen with all the things that applied in the previous presentation in terms of accreditation apply to us, we have also have accreditation from the main American accreditation body for journalism, which is called ASJMC. I won't bother you with the long title. Another point is, as part of our practical orientation, we employ experienced working journalists as tutors alongside our respected journalism academics who have also been practicing journalists themselves. So, for example, we have a very well-known New Zealand TV journalist, very experienced teaching our TV module. We have the data editor for New Zealand, NZME for New Zealand Herald, teaching our data journalism model. We have the news director for Stuff teaching in our media law course and teaching in our postgrad program. She's also the editor, one of the editors of the Sunday Times newspaper in New Zealand. So we're very closely engaged with industry, and that benefits you because, as well as getting up-to-date training, you get instantly networked with the industry and a better chance of having your stories published and published during the year, which is what you will be doing. And it really helps us give you a really credible, realistic experience in your training. So that's the sort of broad overview of what we do. Our postgraduate program builds on our very strong undergraduate Bachelor of Communication, specialising in journalism as well. So we have a lot of people coming through our undergraduate program, but what I'm really here to talk to you about tonight is our postgrad program. So that's the overview. Let's just have a quick look at what the actual course of study, postgraduate study at Massey in journalism looks like. Well, if you come to Massey next year and do a postgraduate diploma in journalism, your timing is immaculate because we have just gone through our program and completely refreshed it, and it will be rolling out in 2021. So this is our new take of where we've taken out some of the older, less relevant stuff and refreshed the course and added in more relevant, cutting-edge, industry-based practice stuff. So if you come to Massey to do postgraduate study, you will do a postgraduate diploma in journalism. This is our flagship program, very closely based on some of the top programs around the world, like the Columbia School of Journalism's Master's Program or Cardiff in the UK. You'll do a 120 credit course, the postgraduate diploma. You can take it either full-time at Wellington, or from next year you'll be able to do it part-time anywhere in the world by distance, or by distance full-time. You'll do 120 credits and choosing from those courses you can see in front of you. I'll just briefly talk to each one of those. Advanced news reporting, that's the nuts and bolts of journalism, teaches you how to find stories and write stories. Still the most important thing for any journalist, being able to find news and write news, and features as well. But it's the bread and butters of learning how to dig, learning how to find stuff out, and learning how to tell it in an interesting, credible way. The next one, 713, is advanced audio-visual journalism. This is where you learn to do photojournalism, TV and radio journalism, building on the skills you learnt in advanced news reporting. The next one, Journalism Society, that's teaching about media law, an essential tool for any journalist, ethics, the role of journalism in society. You have really interesting discussions and about how journalism is working and what it's doing, what it should be doing, how it's covering current stories like coronavirus or what's unfolding in the US at the moment. What should journalists be doing? How should they behave? That sort of questions, very relevant. The next one, investigative and data journalism. This is where we teach you these special skills of investigative journalism, and increasingly this new thing called data journalism, which is, we live in a world of big data. How can you make sense of that as a journalist? How can you present it in a way which is attractive to your audience and expands and gets your stories more read and more relevant? We also have built in there a thing called a special topic where you can take a topic of your choice. It might be sports journalism, for example. It might be fashion, lifestyle, whatever it is, and really dig into that and develop a special niche in that. All of these courses are mostly assessed by portfolio. In other words, we want you to be doing journalism. We get you out writing stories and doing stories, and we assess you at the end of it on what you've produced. Ideally, you'll get a lot of it published during the year in the mainstream news organisations. Our students this year are already doing that, publishing for news organisations in New Zealand like Stuff and the Herald and so on, Radio New Zealand. So that's the postgraduate diploma in journalism. That's our main postgraduate program. The next one is a Master of Management, specialising in journalism. This is again rolling out next year for the first time. It'll be available full-time, part-time, by distance or internally. Essentially, the first year of the Master of Management specialising in journalism is the same as the postgraduate diploma. It will be the same. But if you want to go and do this extra qualification and turn your postgraduate diploma in journalism into a Master of Management specialising in journalism, you'll have to do some extra courses. And essentially those are Global Issues in Business, a paper which looks at how a specialised business area, probably in your case it'll be about journalism. Some of the other courses we've already talked about, and you can also build in any 30 credit course from the Master of Management schedule. You might want to chuck in a marketing paper, commerce paper, finance paper or management paper, something which rounds out your special, the way you want to tailor your qualification. So it's very flexible qualification. It's aimed to give you the ability to customise your journalism Master of Management in a way which works for you. A management flavour, a marketing flavour, a communication flavour, or an extra journalism flavour, or analytics, for example. You might really want to specialise in analytics, the analysis of data. The last thing you'll do for the Master of Management is a research report, 60 credits. You could do this in the industry. For example, you might do the postgraduate diploma and then decide you want to get straight into work, into a job. Most of our students do. Most of them go straight into employment after the end of the course. And you can do your last 60 credits as a workplace internship, writing a report from that. Or you might want to do a sort of a thesis, if you like, or produce a portfolio in a special area. It's a very flexible qualification. It's designed to work for you and your particular needs. So that's the kind of overview of our postgraduate program, which will be in place from next year at Massey. I could go on talking, but I think it's probably better if I leave a little bit of time for questions.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anka Smith, and I'm here to represent the Massey University School of Aviation today. I'm now going to talk to you about our postgraduate program called the Master of Aviation. The Master of Aviation is a 180 credit program. It can be completed full-time or part-time. And so this is good for people who are working full-time but want to add a postgraduate qualification to their career portfolio. It is available on campus here in Palmerston North or online by distance learning. There are two pathways offered to students in this program. One is the research pathway and the other one is the professional practice in aviation pathway. Our graduates and students hail from many countries and backgrounds in the Master of Aviation. They can be from the New Zealand Defence Force, the general aviation industry, including airlines or charter organisations or cargo companies, and the wider aviation industry. And these pictures below will give you some idea of where our graduates hail from. Now let's talk a little bit about the courses in each of these options. The Master of Aviation Research pathway has one compulsory course, being the Research Methods in Aviation. Then there are at least 60 credits to be chosen also from Part 1, and these courses are listed here. In Part 2, you have to do at least 60 credits of research. The Master of Aviation Professional Practice pathway is also divided into Part 1 and Part 2. In Part 1, in this option, there are 2 compulsory courses, Management in Aviation Systems and Aviation Strategic Management. Then students choose another 2 courses with 60 credits in total from the 4 options listed below. And there are 2 special topics included in this in case you have areas of research you'd like to explore a little bit further. The final, Part 2, is a capstone course called the Professional Practice in Aviation, and this is a 60 credit course, most usually delivered or studied over 2 semesters rather than 1 semester. The capstone course, the Professional Practice in Aviation, is described a little bit more in this slide. It's 60 credits, it's divided into 2 parts. Part A has a professional development 2 assignments, a professional development plan and an exercise in self-directed learning. Part B also has 2 assignments, an investigation and report. Now this can be a case study which can be a work project undertaken on behalf of your employer. So not only does your organisation benefit from your efforts, but you also gain academic credit for this case study. And then the final in Part B is a formal presentation. We have a number of areas of research, expertise and interests within the School of Aviation, and these are listed here for your information. Some of these may resonate with you, and so if this is something that is of interest, we can help you find a supervisor based on one of these areas of research interest. So please contact us for more information. We obviously, as I said before, have a number of graduates, and here is some of their feedback, either from the Master of Aviation Research pathway or the Master of Aviation Professional Practice pathway. And again, these will show you where the interests lie and how relevant these have been to our graduates in their current workplace environments. Now I'm going to introduce you to Isaac Henderson. Isaac is a lecturer at the School of Aviation. He is obviously a Master of Aviation graduate and he undertook the research pathway. He is a current doctoral graduate and hopes to finish his doctoral studies this year. And also he is our in-house RPAS consultant for our clients who are applying for a CAA New Zealand Part 102 RPAS certification. Over to you, Isaac.
Hi everyone, my name is Isaac Henderson and I'm one of the lecturers here within Massey University School of Aviation. I'm going to be talking to you all today a little bit about our Masters of Aviation program. Now you would have already heard that we have 2 distinct pathways within this program. We have a professional practice pathway and a research pathway, and either could make a lot of sense for you depending on what situation you're in now. If you're one of our recent graduates from our undergraduate program and you're not currently working within the industry, you're looking to do this before entering the workforce, then the research pathway would be a very good way to go because it doesn't require you to be in charge of anything or managing any projects within any companies at the time. For those of you who are a bit further along your career progression and you're looking at this as a form of professional development or upskilling, either pathway could make sense. If you manage a lot of projects and you think one could be turned into a professional practice project, then that's one viable option. If you are wanting to do some research that could enhance something you're working on with your company, or maybe is in a completely different area so you can build a new set of expertise, then the research pathway is also a very good option. Regardless of the pathway, you're going to have a few taught papers, and then you either go into your professional practice project or you go into doing a research project or thesis. Now, you notice that that's somewhat different to how an undergraduate program works. As an undergraduate, you're taught papers and you have to apply that knowledge in various assignments and you get a degree. For a master's degree, you have a few taught papers that lay the foundational knowledge that you need, but you have to do something yourself. So you're contributing either in the professional practice pathway towards something within a company, or within the research pathway, you're contributing to new knowledge within our discipline. Now, which one you want to do, that's entirely over to you. We will provide the supervisors you need to be able to achieve what you're trying to get out of the program. So in that sense, it's a lot more flexible and it's a lot more individual than what it's like in an undergraduate program. Where does it lead to? Well, our graduates are doing all sorts of different roles within the industry. So there's people like myself who go on to become academics in the same cohort as when I went through. There were students who are now managers at airlines, at airports. They work in cargo and logistics. They consult for various companies within the sector. There's a lot of different opportunities. And each one of them did a different topic for their research or their professional practice that helped lead them into where they are now. And sometimes those topics can be things that you couldn't do within an undergraduate program. For example, I did my master's degree looking at whether airships could come back for scenic tourism purposes. And that project has led me to consult for several startups who are wanting to either build or use airships. And those skills have also been very transferable to the area of unmanned aircraft, where I now do a lot of consulting on behalf of the school. Regardless of what your topic of interest is or what you're trying to get from the program, I'm sure we can make it work. So please get in touch and we'd love to help you with your development in this space.
Thank you very much, Isaac. That was really interesting. Now, if anybody would like to find out more about the Master of Aviation program at Massey or any of our other aviation programs, we have an annual aviation open day. This year it's on Saturday, the 12th of September. It's held here at the Massey Aviation Centre in Palmerston North. There'll be presentations, tours and trial flights, and we would ask you to please register in advance so we know to expect you. Alternatively, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. My email address is listed here, as is my cell phone number. We have a Massey University Aviation Facebook page, and obviously the university has its own aviation web pages as well. Thank you very much for listening today. I hope you found this presentation useful. We would love to answer any questions that you have, but please don't hesitate to contact us. And we look forward to welcoming you to the School of Aviation in the not too distant future. Thank you.